Oh, Mariah, well, thank you for agreeing to have this conversation with me today to talk some more about your own book writing experience.
The pleasure. Really happy to be here.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, I'm going to kick us off by asking what first drew you to my work and
Mhm.
also working with us at the Unbound Press.
So I think I probably started connecting with you on Facebook a couple of years before I joined, well, before you even had the Unbound Press, actually. I can't
Yeah.
remember how or why, but I just intuitively felt drawn to connect. And then I think I joined some of the early group calls
Yeah.
and programs that you were running. And then I felt called to write a book, and I resisted that for about a year, pretty much.
Pretty standard.
Standard, probably. And then one year on a beach in Greece, I just got this almighty write the book message. Was that
Mm,
okay? I'll do it when I get back. So I think that's when I had the conversation with you. And at that stage, it was a completely different book to the one I ended up writing.
exactly.
So I pretty much wrote at least one book, if not one and a half books, before I got onto the book that I finally published.
Mm,
Um, so, so I guess at that point, it was intuitive. It was like a no-brainer. I was going to publish with you. But also the other thing was I'd been a solopreneur for about 20 years at that point.
mm,
And I just felt like I was doing everything on my own and I didn't want to do this on my own. It felt like it was something I'd never done before, although I'd written training packages and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
I'd never written a book and I actually really, really wanted to be in community.
Yeah.
And the other thing was because you offer this full package, it's like I didn't have to worry about who was going to edit it, how was I going to sell it, how was I going to upload it, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And also, the group calls,
Mm,
because as I was going through it, I realized that the group calls partly were about being witnessed and witnessing other women. Partly, it kind of held me to account. So it meant that I would show up even if I wasn't writing.
yeah.
And I pretty much showed up for almost all of the calls, I think, because that kind of kept me on track.
Mm,
It's like it was like a metronome almost.
yeah.
Uh,
Yes. I love that.
I'd show up. It's Monday morning at whatever time, and I will join the call. Um, and obviously, there were lots of experts in that group. And the other beautiful thing that has come out of it is lots of really cherished friendships.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the lounge of an unbound author's house, cat sitting while she's on retreat. So, and there's quite a few women that I met on the unbound calls who live in and around the southwest where I eventually moved to. So
Yeah.
I had a ready group of friends that I could call on when I
Beautiful.
moved down here. So there were loads of unexpected benefits as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there anything in particular? I mean, you mentioned the community aspect and the way, with the package, particularly the publishing, like we do everything, take you right through the
Mm.
process. And you also kind of mentioned it was quite intuitive the way I mean, I can't remember how we first connected online, it's just one of those things. But was there
No.
anything in particular that drew you to this more unbound way of writing and publishing? Like, did you look at any other options or was
I
it?
didn't look at any other options for the book, but I had already explored other options, and I've got two card decks that I've written. One I've self-published, so I'd had the experience of self-publishing a few years beforehand, and the other one that hasn't actually been published yet, but kind of feels like it's almost ready. And so I'd had the experience of having an agent, and also I'd gone to two major publishing houses for
Mm,
Oracle decks, but it never quite fitted. So because
mm,
they weren't angel decks or tarot decks, they loved the decks, but they couldn't fit them into their models.
yeah,
Um, so so I figured, well, I've never been really one to fit in.
exactly.
So I need somewhere where I can just be accepted, where I can just write what is coming through me because I don't want to edit it and squeeze it into somebody else's
Mm,
uh, shape or size. So So like the card decks, I didn't do what the publishers were asking me to do, which was to change them,
Mm,
basically, because that's not in the integrity that they came through with. So I wanted to maintain the integrity of the work.
mm,
And I hate being boxed in
yeah.
anyway, and I hate being coerced.
Mm,
I just really rally against that. So I knew I needed the freedom,
yeah. Yeah.
creative freedom and the freedom of expression, which is what you get with Unbound because it is unbound. It's not yeah, it's unbound.
Yeah, exactly. We can't be in boxes, and we certainly won't be
No,
in anyone in
no.
boxes. Tell us some more about your book. You mentioned earlier that the book you started with is not the book
Mm.
that ended up being birthed. Um, so can you talk a little bit about the book, Labyrinth, how it came to be, and like the impact that writing that book had on you?
Mm. So firstly, I think the first book I was going to write was, or did write, was Love Your Karma, which
Mm,
was about how the karmic aspect of us holds the jewel, the pearl.
hmm
So I wrote that and got loads of case studies, and then I submitted it to you, and you said, needs to have more of you in it. So I started writing more of my stuff in it, and pretty quickly realized actually this is not the book I'm supposed to be writing. I realized I was being called to write a book about my journey.
Mm,
So the way it came about was I didn't even have a title, but it's like I was given snapshots, like it was almost like photographs of my life in chronological order on a little washing line. Or when you see photographs on a string, that's what I
hmm
kind of saw. I kind of saw a photo of me at that point, and then that point, and that point. So these stories would just drop in. And while I was writing one story, the next one would appear. And so literally it just unfolded in that way. And then I realized there were other things I'd written previously that wanted to be woven in.
mm,
And so it is a weaving of my personal stories and other channelings and poems that I'd written earlier that then found their home in that book.
mm,
And it was all about my journey to belonging. So it was about how I didn't fit in,
yeah.
um, up until the point I began to fit in or began to find my own way and not fit into other people's, began to feel more comfortable in my own skin and what I was doing. Um, What I hadn't anticipated the huge transformation that I would go through over
Mm,
that 3 month period. Because I was still working, but I wrote the book in 3 months flat,
yeah.
start to finish, and it was intense. In as far as I was absolutely drawn into it,
Mm,
like I couldn't, I was drawn back to the laptop to write. Um, and it unfolded very fast. By the time I came to the end of it, um, I felt like something major had integrated,
mm,
massive integration that perhaps I couldn't have got any other way through retelling my story.
yeah.
If it had gone no further, then it would have done its job for me.
Yes.
And probably I got more personal growth per dollar, if you like, than actually publishing the book because it was like you couldn't put a price on that level of integration. It was huge.
Mm,
And I felt a completely different person. And that was just a few weeks before my 60th birthday. But then what unfolded was really something else. So I think within a few weeks, I'd had this intuitive message to put up a card reading for people on Facebook. And one of the first people to put their hands up is my now husband. So So I didn't know at that point, like you, we'd been friends on Facebook, but
yeah.
unlike you, I'd had no contact with him really,
Mm,
other than I knew that we were in the same community of space holders and filmmakers and coaches and stuff. And so within 6 months of publishing my book, I'd fallen in love and I was moving to Cornwall
I
to be with
mean,
him. Oh,
talk
it's
about
just, and
transformation.
talk about transformation. And my work changed, so it completely changed. Even I've realized even how I dress changes. Everything has
Mm,
changed. Um, it really was quite something. So loads of things fell away also.
yeah.
Um, but some really beautiful things fell into place. So my work up until that point had been really focused on, or my life had been focused on my work.
Mm,
It
yeah.
had really taken over, and I was working full time, and it was generating, and I was just following my intuition. And then after that, there was a real different quality about the work and
Mm,
what I'm about to do next.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, but the huge benefit was that integration, and through that integration, um, up popped my future husband, which, I had no intention of remarrying. In fact, I had every intention of spending a whole year on my own,
Yeah.
just traveling around and working remotely. So,
Amazing.
you know, it
Mm,
was quite something.
yeah,
It still
absolutely.
is quite something.
It is, and really something to
Yeah.
witness.
And I think
Um,
as well, I think there were at least 5 or 6 unbound authors at my wedding.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that speaks volumes really, because the quality of women who join is really very special.
mm, yeah,
So I don't think that can be underestimated. There are lots of ingredients to the unbound writing package that people will discover along the way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, there are all the practical elements, which of course are important because we need to go
Yeah.
through the actual process of, when
Yeah.
we're writing and then publishing the book.
Mm.
But it's those kind of less tangible pieces,
Yeah.
which are
And mm, and I
just,
think as well, I appreciated your honesty, because you kicked me up the bum really when you said I needed to bring in my own stories, because I really
yeah,
didn't want to.
yeah.
And the whole book ended up being about me, which I had no intention of doing whatsoever.
Well, can we
Um,
how was that? Because, this happens a lot. And it's,
yeah.
a piece of advice. It wasn't just you. Like very often I'm like,
Mm.
no, let's bring more of you in, like your story. And I mean, was there any fear or doubt around doing that? What was coming up around that?
Do you know, I can't remember now. It's so long
Mm,
ago. I mean, mind you, it's not that long ago. It's only 3 years ago, but it feels like a lifetime.
yeah, it was another lifetime, really.
Yeah, it certainly was another lifetime. Was I fearful? I think I'd done a lot of inner work around visibility
Mm,
before I came to that point. I can't remember what the reluctance was. Maybe it was just that I didn't want it to be about me
yeah.
and I wanted to be inclusive for others. I'm not sure. But I remember squirming, and when it came to the point of actually being really clear, actually this is about me
Mm,
and my journey to belonging, I think I just settled into it.
mm,
Um, But I suppose the other thing that was important was the fact that you were able to be flexible, because um, I think from the point of actually signing up as an author to the point of publishing was 2 years, I think.
mm, yeah,
Certainly at least a year, maybe 18 months, 2 years.
yeah.
And obviously I changed. I think I went from uh, what was it? The thing about karma. Can't even remember its name now.
Love your karma.
Love your karma, that's the one.
It's the
to
thing
to
about
life is
karma.
think about karma. And then the next one, it turned into something about spaghetti. Life
Mm,
is a bowl of spaghetti or something. And then it went from that. That was a very quick-lived, I think that was about a week. And then it
yeah,
it transformed into this other thing that then, while I was up washing up one day, I got the name of the
yeah,
book. And then it kind of made sense really. So I kind of think I settled in. But it was an important point, because that book may not have come about.
yeah,
I may never have written Labyrinth if I hadn't had that kick up the bum, which was gentle but clear.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't even a kick, really. It
No,
was
it
a
wasn't a kick. I mean, come on.
no, it wasn't really a kick.
A nudge.
It was a nudge. It was a very clear steer.
But it's really important, to be able to kind of go with that like evolution in what's wanting to come through. And it can be easy to think, oh no, but I thought I was doing this, so I'm going to hold on to it because
But
otherwise
no
it's
other publisher would have done that. I
no,
can't think that any other publisher would have done that.
no, no,
This is the book you've signed up for. This is the one we want, and this is the one you're going to write.
no,
So that wouldn't have worked
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's not how I roll, and that's not how you roll. So
no, it's not.
no, and I can't. Yeah, the end result was so amazing, and that's not even the book. I've had feedback about the book where people have said it's really helped them, and
Yeah.
it's given them strength and hope, and helped them understand their own journey more.
Mm,
Um, but actually, what's happened since then has given people even more hope and optimism. So I do get messages still about how it all happened and
yeah, yeah,
yeah, how it's unfolding.
yeah. Which needs to be another book, basically. Mariah, I
I know
keep
you
saying
keep
this.
saying that. I know you keep saying that. It's like,
One day, one
not
day.
sure about that.
I know.
Do you know what? The weird thing is, when I finished writing Labyrinth, I thought I was going to keep writing, and I've not
Mm,
written anything.
yeah.
In almost 3 years, I've barely written anything,
Mm,
uh, which to me seems really odd because I was writing a lot before, but just can't seem to
yeah.
do it yet.
No, there's so much around like embodying like a new identity, like,
Mm.
and what a wonderful thing that Labyrinth is out in the world doing its thing and being able to support people and connect with people, and you're
Yeah,
like blossoming into this like new version of yourself. It's quite incredible.
it is. And life keeps doing that. It's like I became a grandmother 2 weeks ago, and that still boggles me really that I became
Yeah.
a grandmother. But um, yeah, that again has had a whole new, I don't know, it's hard to describe it really. It's like a
Mm,
handing on to the
yeah.
next generation and a freeing up of me and my creative energy. So it'll be interesting to see what
Mm, mm.
happens next.
Just talking a little bit about the practical aspects, so going through the publishing process, like the editing, design. What was that like working with the team at the Unbound Press?
Yeah, the editing was super smooth,
Mm,
so it was really easy. I used to think there were many suggestions to reorganize it hugely.
mm,
And the way that the editing was done was really easy. So it just meant I had to say yes or no to something.
yeah,
As the editor would make a suggestion and then it's yes or no,
yeah,
or how about this? But basically the suggestions she was making were so good that it was just yes, 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 yes.
exactly. Tick, tick,
I
tick.
mean, rereading 300 pages of my own book several times over, which I think is what I
Yeah,
did feel a bit tedious at times,
mm,
but it was necessary
yeah,
because by the time it got to your editors, it really didn't need very much.
yeah,
And I
exactly.
think that was all part of the integration. So I knew I
Totally.
didn't resent doing it. I just knew this had to be done.
Mm,
Um, and the graphic designer was Linda, and basically I'd sent her a meme to say, this is what I really like. And she did it
yeah,
instantly. It was like she sent me 5 versions of what the cover could look like, and there was only one cover that was going to do it really. So she got it really fast.
mm,
Um, yeah.
yeah,
So it was simple.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
simple, and then it was shaped into chapters and formatted, and then it was uploaded, and then it was done. It was really easy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, all that build up, and then it's like, oh, okay. Went
Yeah,
pretty
really easy.
smoothly.
And lots of people have said to me that they have. This is the other thing actually about Unbound. I know lots of people who have published and then spent the money to buy the books. So they
Mm,
bought all the
yeah.
books and they've got piles of books.
Yeah.
And I did this with my Oracle deck as well. I think I paid for a print run of 200 to start with. So you end up with all these boxes or
Mm,
books um, taking up space. But actually, the way the print on demand works with Unbound, I just think is one, more ethical, and two, just more manageable.
yeah.
And they're so fast at turning it around between order and sending them out that
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer for me, really.
Yeah. I think energetically as well, like having lots of your
Mm.
books hanging around, like it doesn't feel good
No,
to me. It's like let them,
no,
yeah, let them
let
go
them be
out the
out
way they
there.
want to. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And so I was talking about the team at the Unbound Press. Is there anything um about, or in particular, about the way I work and hold space that you would say um, was particularly supportive?
I think there's a couple of things. One is just who you are.
Mm.
You're just who you are, really. Um, that's probably not very helpful, is it?
Just who I am.
Just who you are, just because you're you.
Mm.
Um, I suppose there's a couple of things. One, you're completely trustworthy, and the confidentiality is 100%. Two, you've got a great sense of humor, so you can bring things to the party that actually are quite sensitive, but dealt with compassionately, wisely, and with some humor,
Mm.
so it can lighten things up. Two, and then beyond that, there's the space holding. So that's, I think, critical to the writing um, groups, but
Mm.
also each author as they move through, because although I never needed you to be fully available, you were always available. And I always had that knowing that actually, if I needed to reach out, I could.
Mm. Yeah.
I think that's important, the availability and the approachability. Um, and I think your total embodiment of Unbound
Mm.
gives permission to other women to be the same, if
Mm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people talk about embodiment, but actually not a lot of people are
Mm.
embodied in what they're working with or selling or offering. But you are. So I think that makes a huge difference
Mm.
because the space is very grounded. It's not airy-fairy. It's not egotistical. It is very grounded, very open, expansive, compassionate space
Mm. Mm.
where people can come and, sometimes we don't even write. We could just be on the call,
Yeah.
eating or
Yeah.
resting or writing, maybe sometimes, and reading, or, we're there and it's a consistent space that you hold.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
It's reliable.
Yeah. Oh, love that. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Final question, I think. If somebody was watching this or reading your words and thinking about writing their book and working with me and us at the Unbound Press, what would you say to them?
If they're already thinking about it, then I'd say jump in and trust your instincts,
Mm, yeah.
trust yourself, trust that space,
Mm,
uh, because it is transformational.
yeah.
It goes way beyond the book,
Yeah. Yeah.
way beyond the book.
Yeah. You are
In fact, the book is kind of an instrument to the transformation, I think. And
totally.
then they're little magical portals all on their own once they're out in the world. But the transformation you get personally is huge
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and so worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Mariah. For those who are watching, actually, um, what's the best way if they have loved listening to what you've talked about in your journey and they're like, oh, I'd like to find out more about Mariah and her book. What's the best way for them to do that?
Well, I've realized I've got the wrong name on my, I haven't got around
Yeah.
to changing all my name.
But that's the name your book is in, so
That's the name my book is in. There is a question mark as to what I do with that, but that's, yes, this was my name. And in
yeah,
fact, the website is still amahope.net. I mean, the
mhm,
reality is my websites never keep up with me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's now 2 years old, but you can keep up with me as Moriah Beth Freeman on Instagram and Facebook. But more and more, I'm going to be using Instagram
yeah,
and switching over to Substack as well. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I'll make sure the links are in the description of
Mhm.
the video.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
A
That's wonderful.
pleasure.
Thanks, Mariah.
Yeah. All right.